I would define, and this is a really tough question, because it's so many different variables, right? There's so much you can add to it, but I feel like success for me is, just counting and measuring the outcomes that you cared about so much, and where things turned into, and how things came about. So I pour myself into my family, into my daughter and my marriage, and success for me is the outcome of those engagements. Does my family see that I'm trying my best to do the best that I can for them? Does my company see that I am trying to be the best leader and the best director I can be? Just measuring those outcomes and seeing where those things are coming out at. I don't feel like success is measurable by a given circumstance, but over the course of several circumstances and several outcomes. And I think most importantly, in order to be successful, you have to be a good person. And so I think, to answer your question, how do I measure or how do I define success? It's the outcome of those situations, family, business, the important things.
For me personally, on a personal level, a successful day, or just success in general, for me looks like peace, having peace and joy, and just in my life as a whole. Doesn't mean that everything's perfect. No, but just means that at the end of the day, I have peace and I have joy, because when I have my peace and when I have joy, that allows everything else to fall into place. I'm able to think properly. I'm able to produce better videos. I'm able to produce better products, because at the core, I'm at peace and I'm full of joy, So that's important for me. The second thing I define success is creating a goal or whatever it is and achieving it, achieving whatever this goal is. And even if you don't achieve it the first time, just picking yourself back up again, learning those lessons, because that's also success, when you can fail at something but gain something at the same time. A lot of people look at failures and mistakes and falling short as this bad thing or this worst thing. You either win or you learn. There's no such thing as a loss. You're going to learn something. So take those learnings, because that's also part of success, because now you have these extra learnings inside your backpack, in a sense, and now you're able to keep going on your journey to achieve whatever that initial goal was. So perspective, having the proper perspective, that's also success too, So long story short, that's my success.
Yeah, so for me, I would say success is the number of lives that you're able to impact. So kind of removing myself from the equation, because again, it's, you have a degree, you have this, you have that, right? We can go and start to list our accolades, but hey, how many people have you helped? How many people have you mentored? How many people have you helped get to your position or elevate even further? So I really think about that in terms of just impacting others.
Nice.
I think success to me is liking what you do, liking yourself, and liking the person you are while doing what you do. And the reason why I say that, that last piece, is I have so many friends who may, like their work, but they don't always like the person it makes them, like their inability to be present for their family members or loved ones. Their sometimes difficult work or difficult projects they have to do where their ethics or moral compass is a little shaken. I think that what I've at least been fortunate enough to have is the privilege of really being able to do this work where morally I am in alignment. I'm not representing individuals who are sometimes, I don't want to make it a negative thing, but sometimes there's a big corporation you're forced to represent in the practice of law where you really don't agree a lot with the ethics of what they're doing without getting into the weeds. So I just feel fortunate that I get to know my clients as people. I get to like them as people. I get to feel good about what I'm fighting for on a day in and day out basis. And that, when you're practicing law, is a privilege. You have to be very intentional about doing that. Yeah. And then in terms of success writ large, I think one thing I also reflected on is we live in a capitalist country, right? So especially in my profession, everyone defines success as like, I shouldn't say everyone, many folks define success as monetary achievement, right? And I've had to really grapple with that, to reflect on the fact that so many very well compensated rich people are very, very miserable. And so many of my peers work all the time, constantly, to the point that they don't even get to enjoy the money they make. So I think it's, in terms of success, it's having the right balance between having financial security and having the ability to live your life. I think both of those matter a lot to me when I look at success, and have kind of been a guiding force, especially the work-life balance piece. Like COVID even really highlighted that. Like, life is short. We do not know what is going to happen. How will you feel comfortable in 10 years given what you worked on and the amount of time you spent on it? Like, will you reflect on that and feel proud of yourself? I think that to me is success.